there guys, Awakening Animations here with the 2.8 tutorial. In this tutorial we're just going to create a stylized axe, hopefully use some new features here and yeah, learn some new things about 2.8. Anyway, let's put the shortcuts up in here, screen display. Um, so the first thing is to always have reference. um, I'm using reference, for example. I just went on Pinterest and on Google and I typed in Stylized Axe. So we're going to mainly focus on this design here. I really find it cool. So we're going to try and remake something similar. Um, so I got these two because I really liked some of the shapes and this part coming on top of the blade. This rotating part is quite cool as well. I like the design of the blade head here. Anyway, so reference is really important. Always get your reference, and I'm an idiot. With that said, let's just drag this one in here since we're going to use most of it. So you can find this one, I think on Pinterest. If you just write Stylized Axe, you should find it. I don't have rights to give it to you, and yeah, educational purposes. We're gonna drop this to the cursor in 2.8. Even your reference images are objects, so that's really cool. We can name this ref1 just in case we use another one. We can move this up somewhat, something like that, and let's just take it back in the wall so we've got some space around here. Cool. Now let's make this untouchable so we can't select it. Nice. And yeah, let's begin. We're going to start with this blade here. As you can see, this interesting stuff here is kind of one piece with the handle. So we'll do that afterwards. And with these parts here like that, we'll create 3 or 4 different variations and then we can just place them afterwards. So yeah, let's bring in a plane here. In edit mode, I want to rotate this -90 just so I don't have the wrong side of the normals facing me. And in object mode, bringing this up here. And yeah, I'm saying when I'm in object mode and when I'm not, just for the beginners, because in a lot of cases a beginner would maybe be in edit mode and move this around and leave the pivots there and end up having some weird stuff later on. So just for that sense. Okay, so how are we going to model this piece? I think we can do this really simple. So let's scale this down and let's keep this as simple as possible. So let's start with the cube up to maybe the end here, something like that, and just bring it to the end. Somewhat like that. And let's say it ends about here. And here. Okay, so that's how way we're going to end these ones. And we can start with one edge loop through here in the center and just bring this just to have this shape over here. Okay, so that's perfect for now. We can add another edge loop that can correspond somewhere here. Okay, and we can see that we can maybe make it correspond here as well, somewhat like that. Okay, so that's cool. We're definitely gonna have another edge loop near the end here, something like that, and that's nice because it kind of corresponds with that over there. Okay, so just one step at a time, we're working at it like that. It's usually better. yeah, so now we can take this part up and just bring it maybe up to here, and then up to get that vertex onto that point, and back in here. So it looks like we've got a kind of bevel here, so maybe we can bring this one somewhat over there, like that. Okay, higher up, something like that for now, and then we can take the, yeah, these two and extrude it up to about here, like that. Really scale it down. And so far with that, we've got our basic shape. We of course need to make some edits around here, so we can add an edge loop here just to get this kind of shape, and we can bring this back something like that because we've got this purple effect that's gonna wrap around there. Okay, to keep this equal, we're gonna add one in here. That can help us get this kind of curve in here anyway. And finally, we can add one more in here, add to this curve, and one more in here, and add to this curve. Okay, and then I think we're going to take these here and scale them, extrude them forward like that, and match the shape of this blade. So we're not worrying about these cut pieces for now. Okay, and when we've got that, we can take this piece here and bring that up to about there. Okay, scale that in, rotate it, just get it into place somewhat like that. Okay, that looks fine. Maybe we can bring it a bit more down and scale it a bit up. Okay, something like that. And we'll do exactly the same thing here, quite far down. That way we can add one cut here for now to make this kind of equal with the rest of the shape. Okay, so we know that this part here is kind of the sharp part of the blade in this sense. We should actually have cuts in here. Okay, so with that said, we need to grab all of these like that, and from the side view we're going to bring this out. Okay, because now took it the wrong way, so we're just taking it this way. Oh, sorry about that. I think I didn't grab all the vertices. I should have here. So maybe these ones as well. Okay. Let's undo all of that. I'm being a dumbass. Okay. Let's take this in edit mode, all of it, and move it a bit sideways towards us. Then we can drop in a mirror modifier on Y. So we have something like that. That might have been a bit too much, so let's bring it in closer to each other some more. And the next thing we want to do here is extrude everything towards each other, put clipping on. Okay, let's just fix the normal problem here. So select everything, mesh, normals, recalculate outside. Okay, so now we've kind of got this blade thing going here. Sorry about that, brackets. And yeah, we just need to make some edits here. So we know for sure that this needs to be like really sharp, so we can just grab all those vertices there and bring them in. Okay, so we've got this merge limit 0.01. So that looks sharp enough for me at the moment. And yeah, we're gonna take this piece here and just bring it into the center here to give a kind of smooth fall off to that. And we're gonna do the same thing over here. Smooth that out, something like that. Okay, and we're gonna add to this kind of shape here now as well. What we're gonna do for that is just use the Alt S function at first, and then we can edit everything afterwards. So we just grab all of this like that and hit Alt S. Okay, so let's grab this one as well, Alt S. Cool, and then we go into wireframe mode, and now we can make our edits here. So this one we can see will be somewhat like that. We can bring this one in here and that one up somewhat like that. Okay, don't worry too much about how we're pulling these things around. We'll come and edit and fix any problems we have. Okay, so this one will most likely have to come up more because these two are going to come in and make this point here. Somewhat like that. We can rotate it a bit. Let's just see here. Okay, that's gonna be perfect. Yeah, so we got that. This is kind of matching the shape. We might need another edge loop in here. That kind of works out well. Bring that one up in there. This one, yeah, that kind of works for me. And now we can work on these back parts here. Bring it in some more. Grab that. And let's pull this backwards and scale it. Oh wait, let's keep it like that, extrude it once, and now we can just scale that in a bit. Okay, we're just kind of giving ourselves some attachment part there. Okay, so finally we're kind of done with this blade. I'm happy. There can be some minor changes still in here. This part needs to be sharpened still, so we can grab that up to here, and let's hit Alt S again, just slightly like that. Okay, so let's undo that, remove this part, and do it again. Yeah, so that's looking better. Okay, so now we can shape this again. Cool. This bottom piece here isn't that interesting. Let's see, do something. So every time the camera goes all weird like that, I'm just pressing period on my keypad just to bring me into whatever I'm selecting. So if I've got this vertice and I'm like here, if I hit period, it takes me right onto that, and that's what I want. Okay, so we're just smoothing this out a bit like that, and there we go. Enough playing around with this shape. Let's do everything that's going to be necessary here. So let's keep the mirror modifier still and add our edge loop. So we're definitely going to need an edge loop somewhat like that. Okay, really close up in there. It's super close onto that one. Maybe a bit too much. The second one there is a bit too much as well, I think, so we can just take that a bit back. And that should be fine. And we're gonna do one more on this side as well, somewhat like that, and we're obviously gonna have to do the same corrections up here quickly. So I'm gonna take this one back and this one back just to correct those parts. We're gonna have the same problems here in the bottom. So if we look at that one, slightly back, and this one, oh, I accidentally hit F, so I'm gonna undo, and then I'm gonna take this one slightly back. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got those edge loops in place, we're most likely gonna need a few more before we add this subdivision surface, and I think we're gonna have to bring these further apart from each other some more, and you'll see why now. Let's do that quickly. So we alt select that, alt select this one, and let's go into edge selection here to be sure. And alt, not that one, we don't need that one. So let's make sure we've got everything even in the bottom here, which we do not. So we can, just to make it easier, back into vertex, control select, like that. Okay, I don't have the screencast keys on. There we go. And yeah, so basically we want to move that away. Seems like that should be all. Okay, so let's move this slightly away like that. Yeah. Okay, and now let's add these edge loops in here. So something like that. Ah, okay, I see what's happening here. 0.0001. Control R, bring it in up to there. That should be perfect, and we'll just have to sharpen that up at the end. So um, let's see how this turned out. If we look at the reference here and we add subdivision surface just to have a look. So that's nice. The blade kept its form. It's looking nice. We're going to sharpen that part more. Here we can have some changes, kind of like that, unless, what happens if we add one like that? That could work. And we do want this sharp here as well, so why don't we just add that one to get that edge there. And we do want this one quite sharp, so we might as well do that. Okay, we'll figure out this one because we can do that. Then you're gonna get, yeah, that could work as well. So we need something to hold this as well. So we've got that straight kind of edge like that. Here there's some problems. We'll see now what's causing that. Okay, it's these edges really, vertices really close to each other, so we can just spread this out a bit better. Should be better. It's actually worse. This might be done by the smoothing, so let's see if we go smooth shading and then we use the auto smooth feature. The normals, auto smooth, are all our edges looking fine? Maybe not. Let's put it on 62. That looks better. This one we might want flat as well, so let's see if we keep taking this up here. Well, that's fine actually because it's still part of the sharp blade being shown there. Um, this is fine. We want that crease. That's good. Actually bring this guy closer in now and bring the shape back to normal. Take that one closer in just to have that sharp crease again there. Um, yeah, that's gonna bring that crease out some more. Maybe we should emphasize. Okay, so let's work up here quickly. Is a kind of an odd shape here, but it is sharp and it's looking nice. Um, we do want this edge kind of embraced here. So let's see how nice this works out for us. We've got some crossing here. So we just need to bring these in and these in somewhat like that. And that should give us that nice crease that we were looking for over there. And we could add another one in here to get a kind of curve out of this guy, like we've got in the reference here. Bringing in a bit more, somewhat like that. And what happens when we do this? What happens up here? It's really close in there. If we bring this down and forwards like that, gonna bring this one sideways, just kind of cleaning up here. And that should be fine. We've got a nice crease over there as well. And finally nothing actually, like that. Cool, so that should be the base of our blade modeled, completed. I'm gonna wait until I apply the mirror here. Sorry, I'm just adding that edge loop to clean up some things here. um, Once again, I think I want to move these a bit more into the center here just to give it some better spacing. With that said, we've got to come in here and clean up slightly everywhere. That should be fine. Come down here. That's not right at all. So we can take this. I can see, okay, all of them are like that, which is not good. So let's see what happens if I take all these faces here. That's not gonna work. Well, okay, so good thing we saw that. Now, always have some problems that show up. So the top one seems fine, it's just all of these here looks like. This one too, you kind of, no, that one looks fine. So it seems like it's all there. Okay, all the way down here up to this vertex here. So yeah, now let's just get in a good angle here, and I think if we get one right, they should all kind of be fixed. So if we can just line one up more or less, that should be fine. Okay. So first things first, we need to grab that. Hopefully it went all the way here. Yes. I want to go into edge selection, and I want to grab up to here. Okay, and then I want to grab this. And all the way up. No, I'm being dumb. I want to deselect that, so just Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I missed that one. Missed that one. That one. Small one, come on. Okay, I got them all. Okay, now I'm going to put proportional editing on, and I'm going to Alt S this. Okay, Alt S, very small, this thing, super small. Hold Shift and just bring this out ever so slightly. Let's see what that did. Over here. Okay, brought everything out with it. So Alt S. Okay, so forget it. No proportional editing. Alt S. Take it out a little bit. Bring this one up. Something like that. And we're gonna have to repeat the same with these ones. So from there, which one is that? It's the second one. To there. And now we're going to do the same thing, but just make sure that we do it less than the previous one. Kind of have that fall off. So Alt S like that. Okay, and I guess this one is quite a problem as well. X, dissolve these edges here. Don't think it's needed. Hang on, let's undo all this dumb shit I did here. All that old ising. Let's remove this. X, dissolve edges. Okay, and then we need to take these ones. Okay, I don't know why it's going so mad here now. Okay, seems like I created interfaces here somewhere. Very, very, very annoying, and yes, I did. Okay, so let's fix this crap here quickly. Oh my god. Okay, so this is in the back of the view. I'm gonna use this, I don't know, circle selection tool. Select everything here, X and faces. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we've got any of the front ones selected here anymore. X faces. We should be okay now. I think if we can edge select and it selects everything, we good. But we're not good, so let's make sure here, here, and I think that was it. Okay, so now we're selecting the whole entire loop, even down here. Great. Go back into vertices selection and just fix this part here. This will be the highest point, and this needs to progress down somewhat like that. Here up, we want this much less prominent, and down here we want this out of it once again, this one being the highest point. something like that. Okay, so that seems to be better. All we do now is add our subdivision surface to double check everything. Okay, so that looks nice to me. This blade can possibly be sharper, if you ask me. So if we do that, and yeah, then we bring this one in on the Y as well, but not past the original one. That should give us a sharper blade. Okay, perfect. So much time wasted on this blade. I'm really sorry about that. Um, but anyway, it's done. It's ready. Okay. Um, once again, here we've got our own shape. We can always make edits there. You know how to do it now. But we're gonna move on to this more complicated piece, I guess you could call it. For now, let's hide this. Let's call it blade, and just hide it like that. And let's start this kind of staff here. Um, Most of the staff's detail is going to come with sculpting, but we're going to get the base with all these holes and crazy pieces happening here. Um, and then in the next tutorial, in the next part, we'll quickly model these pieces and start the sculpting of everything. You can sculpt even when you're using a mouse. I'll show you some ways that I've used the mouse before, since we're not doing some crazy sculpting. Okay, so let's bring in a cylinder. Okay, with the cylinder we want, let's say 12. Let's even make it 8. That should be fine for now. And nothing up here. Yeah, that's gonna work fine. Okay, so let's close this down. Um, Edit mode, scale this dude, Shift Z, somewhat like that. Back into object mode, let's bring it here, rotate it, somewhat like that. And once we've got the staff here, we can rotate both of it, that and the blade, to be up straight, and we can work on it like that. We won't need the reference anymore. So yeah, anyway, let's keep going here. So up here we can see we've kind of got a neck kind of shape starting out kind of here in a way. So let's scale it down, suit or fitting that shape, and extrude it up to say about here. Scale that out, and we've got this kind of um, curve happening here. So let's get to that curve there, rotate it a bit. Okay, and let's extrude it up, get it into place. extrude some more like that. Okay, and let's extrude one more time up to here, let's say. Okay, and then we're going to extrude a final time, leave it on place with right click, scale down up to about here, extrude one more time, Alt M, and we're going to merge this to the center. So that gives us something like this. Okay, so you'll see why we did that later on. Let's just get this part here where this curve kind of begins. So somewhat here, rotate it into place. Okay, extrude this up like that. And here we can see that it's going to start to get odd shapes. Let's not worry about that. Let's try and get the main shape in here. So let's bring it in another piece somewhat like that. Extrude it here, and we can see we need to rotate and scale to fit this form. Okay, so even more, we want to get this piece here, actually rotate some more, somewhat like that. Scale it some more to get this top piece, and then we can bring it in and really scale in, like showing on the image. And finally we can scale it one last time up to about here, scale it up some more, and yeah, let's do our final one somewhat like that. And we're going to come and edit this later to get the shape we want. So let's put an edge loop here and bring that down somewhat like that, and let's bring this up to here, and we'll come and approach this section later on. But for now, we've got the overall shape. We can come and add a loop in here, scale it up, rotate it, get that shape like that. Okay, so let's bring in one here, get this shape kind of slightly thinner and bent in, and we're going to want this geometry quite equal for when we go into the sculpting. For now, we're not going to go into the sculpting. We still need to model all these pieces out. But yeah, just to let you guys know, it's going to be something that we need to think about. So if we select this and hit Alt S, I just want to see something. So I think we might want this a bit thicker than, no, let's keep it like that for now. Okay, so the next step obviously would be to put in a mirror modifier. So we're looking from the front, we want to remove all of these vertices up to there. Should be good. Let's see, vertices, seems like we got them all. Seems like we got, oh, I thought too many, but no, we got the right one. So let's add in our mirror here. It's on the Y once again. That's perfect. Can drop in clipping, and the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to start to make this interesting looking piece here. So the first thing I want to do is grab these faces here, and I want to extrude this. Okay, take it like that, scale it. Okay, hang on, let's redo that. I want to extrude this. Once it's extruded, I want to go here, boom. No. Okay, let's remove you for now, and let's take this. Now let's extrude this guy up, scale, rotate, bring him into place. From the front view here, we want to bring this away from the center, okay, something like that. That's going to be perfect. Now we can bring this back here, and we've got this. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so this is going to work great because we can start to get the shape here. I can bring this up to corner pieces like that, extrude it, another section, something in that line, just to fit that part as nice as possible. And that way we can come in here and add an edge loop and join these pieces, kind of make these gaps, because we can add another edge loop here to say something like that, and then we can come and grab this face here and bring this up, extrude that up, something like that. And actually in this case we're going to take it all the way up like that, scale it on Z0, something like this. Okay, that way we're already starting this hole here, so we can do this, and we've got that face there to already begin this section that's going to go around. So for now we're working in a two-dimensional space, but like I said, we're going to extrude this that way, and that's going to give us our depth, and we can then come in and edit the stuff later on. Okay, so let's take this face here now, and we're going to extrude this guy something. Let's say like that. Okay, this way we can add an edge loop in, say here, and we can grab that edge and line it up like that, and we can take the bottom edge here and line it up as well. Okay, that as well makes it better for us to do something like this, so it starts to make more sense maybe to do that. And then we can take this face here, extrude it once, scale it in somewhat like that, extrude it again because we want this section here, and then extrude it up to get this piece like that. Okay, perfect. Because once again now we can grab this face and extrude this guy maybe twice here, so stop there, take him up to here, and in there. And let's just finish this loop we've got here quickly, by taking that up. Oof. How is it that you're going that way? Okay, we'll come and do some changes later on. We've got this that can do that. Okay, and finally we're gonna have this last piece that's gonna cover these two legs here. So we're gonna do that. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but now we can take this face and this face, X faces, and then we can go into edge selection like that, and we can do Control E and look for bridge edge loops, and we'll have one straight face going right how we want it over there. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see how this is going to form and how we can then shape it with sculpting. Um, but anyway, I see we're on 37 minutes. I wanted to keep this at least 40 minutes per video. So I'm sorry we only got this far. We've got our blade here so far, and we're starting to build everything that's going to go around it. All of this, which is going to make much more sense and look better once we sculpt it. And yeah, so I see you guys in part 2. I hope you guys are enjoying this and learning how easy it is to actually approach things if you just take it step by step. Yeah, so see you guys in part 2.